Good morning. Today is December 15th, 10 more days to Christmas. I hope everybody's doing well, and I decided to go back to basics for today's dealer training session. I know that a lot of our dealers have staff working from home. Sometimes they have staff working at the office. Sometimes there's downtime, and some of you also have some new employees. So this is something that we're going to go back to basics and go over the dealer training slide deck that you might have seen when your dealership got set up. But if you're new to your company, or you just want a refresher, this will be perfect for that. So let's get started on this right away. So in the world of additives, there are two types of additives that are on the market. There is the consumer grade stuff that you find on the shelf at retail stores, and then there's the industrial strength commercial grade product that is used by industry. So consumer grade products, they are used by consumers, and industrial strength products are used by industry. That is a very important thing to be able to start a conversation with your customer, that the customer, like, did you know, Mr. Customer, that in the world of additives, there's retail consumer grade products and industrial strength commercial grade products, and that you have on the shelf or in stock the industrial grade version of what they might have used in the past. And then we'll go over how to help the customer make a choice or determine if what they've used in the past is a retail grade product or a pro grade product. So Xp3's main functions, it's got deposit control detergents that keeps the gums and sludge out and dissolves it, keeps the internal components of your engine clean. It has stability improvers to stabilize and purify the fuel. That's important for off-season storage, or if you have a machine sitting for 1 or 2 or 3 months or even more, you definitely want to have that fuel being stable. It's got combustion improvers, so a more complete burn will create more power and less unburnt hydrocarbons coming out the tailpipe. On the diesel product, it has lubricity improvers, so that helps lubricate and protect the entire fuel system from the injector pump to the fuel injectors. And in the diesel, it's got anti-gel cold flow improvers and water dispersants. That's probably the most important aspect of an additive. It's the ability for the additive to manage and correct water and moisture related problems, especially with the bio content in the fuel. You have that bio content now that is mandated by government, and the bio component is agroscopic, which means it'll suck moisture out of the air, and over time may bring that fuel to be out of spec from a parts per million or having water in the bottom of the tank. And Xp3 is a positive ROI product. So for an input cost of about 4 cents per liter to treat or less, the customer is gaining 4 to 8% better fuel economy, as well as all of the other benefits of having a more stable running, smoother running engine and longer lasting equipment. Just a little bit of background, XP Lab is the manufacturer of Xp3. They started out in San Diego, California, and recently moved into an industrial zone in Poway, California, just north of San Diego. But their origin started with ocean freighters solving problems related to water, moisture, and poor combustion on bunker fuel. And then they evolved to commercial fleets, bulk transport, and storage, and bringing out solutions to help fight against bio-based fuel-related issues. They also deal with large petroleum companies. So the company that owns the rights, the distribution rights to XP3 in Mexico is owned by Pemex. And the company that is the distribution company for XP3 for Ghana, it's the Ghana Oil Company with over 200 gas stations in Ghana, where when you pull up to the tank to fill up, it has XP3 pre-treated. This is a logo soup. Different companies all around the world. This has been provided to us by XP Lab. So Xp3 treats over 4 billion liters of fuel every year in more than 28 countries. And they've been around for almost 30 years now. They started doing this in 1989. So consumer grade additives will contain diluting fillers like hydrocarbons, petroleum distillates, naphthalene, and other non-functional compounds to make that bottle look bigger. Now, these consumer grade additives were never intended for industrial application or professional application. They're always targeting the retail consumer. Now, when you take a refinery that takes light crude oil, 20 to 30% of that light crude oil is sold to the market as gasoline, and 35 to 55% is sold to the market as diesel and other heavy fuels. The stuff in the middle that the refinery cannot sell as gasoline or diesel is called a distillate, a middle distillate. It's often used for filler for additives and also used in other aspects of the industry, but not fuel related. So the question for you and your customers, how do you determine if an additive provides the functionality that it says on the bottle? The first thing to do is check the MSD sheet. Does the additive contain a petroleum distillate filler? Here we see a popular product that is mostly found at truck stops. The first ingredient, a petroleum distillate, 40 to 70%. The third ingredient, a petroleum distillate, 10 to 30%. That indicates that this product has filler compounds in it to make that bottle look bigger. Here's another one as well, petroleum 30 to 50%, petroleum 10 to 30%. Again, those are all fillers. Here's a third one, petroleum 50 to 90%, and hydrocarbon blend up to 95%, and their active ingredient is isopropanol. Now, if you ask any mechanic, either at a power sports shop or at a power heavy duty shop, if they would use alcohol in their fuel, they would say absolutely not. The alcohol, if you use alcohol in a fuel, very quickly it will evaporate. It's a very volatile substance, and any functionality that you had for a temporary time will disappear, and the alcohol just basically evaporates. The second thing you could do is test for carbon detergency. What you're seeing there is the top view of a pop can. The bottom of the pop cans have carbon-based ink stamping the date and production run. If an additive has a high carbon detergency value, it will be able to remove and dissolve the carbon-based ink. If it doesn't, it won't. Then you can light that additive on fire. If it burns dirty, unstable, and dark smoke, it's not something that will be beneficial for your engine. If it burns clean and stable with no smoke, that's what you want. Imagine having the Tier 4 diesel particulate filter system set up and a diesel exhaust fluid, and you're putting an additive in your diesel fuel that then burns more dirty. It will only have a negative effect on the diesel particulate filter, the regen cycles, and then the consumption of your DEF fluid. And then what does the additive leave behind? In a diesel additive, the only thing you want left behind after burn down is a clean, silky, yellow-colored lubricating agent. Now, there is such a thing as the wrong kind of lubricator in an additive, too much lubricity in an additive, or not enough lubricity in an additive. The last thing you want is something that is sticky and tacky and gummy, like you see on the screen. But again, encourage your customer to do their own test themselves so that they can see if what they're using is the right solution for their equipment. And then testing for water and moisture, that's very simple to do. If you don't need test tubes or anything like that, just clear little cups, put a little bit of additive in it, and then tilt it sideways, and then put a few drops of water. If the additive that they're using is breaking down the water and moisture, you will be able to visually see it. If it doesn't, the water will fall right to the bottom of the little cup. And then this last test requires hydrochloric acid and diesel. You would need to take glass test tubes, fill it half full with diesel, and put 3 drops of hydrochloric acid. The hydrochloric acid emulates or simulates the breaking down and degradation of the fuel. And then you would put the Xp3 additive on one tube and then the other additive that your customer is using. If the additive has a high stabilizing factor and able to restore broken down or degraded fuel, it will be able to do it. If you go to restore.xp3.ca, you can actually see a video of that test being done without having to use hydrochloric acid. Okay, a lot of additives will claim more power, more torque, more performance. There's only 2 places that could validate that without any variables, and that's on a dyno. Your base fuel will produce X amount of torque and horsepower, and then if you add the additive that has the ability to increase torque and horsepower, it will show up on the dyno. Now, in this case, the Xp3D regular single dose added 11 foot-pounds of torque and double dose added 16 foot-pounds of torque. So you do gain incremental benefit, not exponential, by double or triple dosing when you're using the Xp3 product. And we've also seen that in the cetane boosted version of our product, as well as the extreme winter version of the Xp3 diesel. And then emission testing, if your fuel is being burnt more as energy, creating more power, it should show up with less unburnt hydrocarbons or less emissions. This was a test done at the Advanced Transportation and Energy Center at Red River College. It was also something that we did with EcoWest, which is a federally funded consulting firm that helps municipalities and governments be more environment friendly. And the test showed a reduction in carbon dioxide and in unburnt hydrocarbons on a small little diesel Kubota engine with a short, I think it was a 2-minute or a 3-minute test span. So it was able to detect right away the benefits of Xp3 burning the fuel more efficiently and also producing less unburnt hydrocarbons or less pollution. That also gave us recognition from EcoWest Canada that Xp3 is a clean technology that reduces emissions and improves fuel economy. So other benefits at a high level, you'll get reduced downtime, maintenance, and repairs. You will have less regen cycles, a longer DPF filter life, and less diesel exhaust fluid consumption on the Tier 4 equipped engines. Your injectors and your ejector pumps will last longer. And in the winter, you will prevent gelling so that you don't have issues with your engine starving for fuel or shutting down. Now, for bulk tank application, this is very important. If you have any slip tanks or bulk tanks in your operation, the heavy sediment sludge will fall to the bottom of the tank, and then there'll be a water of layer between the diesel and the water. You can have microbacterial infestation, often referred to as sludge or algae. Those are actually live microorganisms that live in the fuel and start to replicate. The only way to get rid of that is to get rid of the water, which starves their food source, which then has the microbes die out. If you can physically extract the water, great. If you cannot, we have a product specifically for that. It's a biocide eradicator. It's a special order product. I hope you never have to use it, but the continued use of Xp3 in your bulk tanks will reduce the presence of water eliminate the conditions for microbacterial infestation to take root, and you'll never have to deal with that problem. So just a quick recap. Xp3 stands for extra power, extra performance, and extra protection. You get all benefits in one. You don't need to buy multiple different additives for multiple different functionality. Very efficient, very effective, very easy for fleets and owner-operators to use one bottle to solve all of their fuel-related issues. Here is a recent case study, GT Holdings. They did this test on their own equipment using their own fuel. The truck was running the same run day in, day out. And with Xp3 added to the fuel over a 10-tank test period, they were able to see a 7% improvement. So 7% better fuel economy. If you're using average numbers, depending on the price of the diesel, obviously, that could be approximately $5,000 of fuel cost savings for every $100,000 of fuel consumed. So definitely, if you're a fleet looking to cut costs, you can do so by also gaining benefits of better operability, longer lasting engine, and less downtime. So look at the fuel savings as a side benefit. This was another test done with the City of Winnipeg Parks Division. This was with the EcoWest Canada project. So over several months, testing the equipment multiple times in multiple conditions, there was a reduction in all of the unburnt hydrocarbons and also an improvement in oxygen, and the fuel economy saw an average improvement of 10%. This is just another test as well. Two combines. These were New Holland combines with sequential serial numbers. The combine that ran the Xp3 treated fuel consumed 5.49% less fuel than the non-treated fuel. So case after case, we got a lot of these. This was a long-term study on keeping the engine clean. You can see the injectors were coated. After 5,000 kilometers of running Xp3, the injectors came out clean and new. Also, this fleet was doing oil sample analysis. They found that the oil lasted longer and had less contaminants in it because of the unburnt byproducts seeping through down the cylinder rings and down into the engine oil. Springer.xp3.ca, Mark Springer did test out Xp3 and he was blown away on how much more quiet and more power his T600 truck had. And then we'll quickly go through here. The Cat Rental Store Battlefield Equipment Rentals in the winter of 2017 and 2018, while using Xp3, they had no incidents related to gelling of the diesel, whereas the previous year with non-treated fuel, they had over 80 fuel-related incidents. This farmer went from 12 hours of operating in his tractor to 14 hours when he was using Xp3. We did mention Pemex, a division of Pemex owns the right to Xp3 in Mexico. This is the Ghana Oil Company with over 150 gas stations. You pull up at the tank and it's pre-treated with Xp3. And the manufacturer provides a written guarantee that Xp3 does not void any warranty, does not have a negative effect whatsoever. And the reason is because the Xp3 improves on the ASTM specification of the fuel. So in essence, you're ending up with a higher grade fuel, which means that your equipment will run better. In closing, Xp3 replaces all conditioners, stabilizers, lubricators, purifiers, treatments, anti-gel, detergent cleaners, all of these things that you find at retail grade stores that in the past you might have used 2 or 3 of these different additives to get the functionality that you wanted. Xp3 is an all-in-one. It does all of this in one bottle. You don't need to buy multiple products. And the bottom line is the informed user of fuel additives will always choose an industrial strength, commercial grade version over a consumer grade additive. The key word here is informed. And as a dealer, it's your job to have those conversations and educate your customer on how to determine if the additives that they're using or used in the past is a retail grade product or an industrial strength commercial grade product. So this concludes the review overview. A couple of takeaways: properly frame the conversation with your customer. So if they put a bottle of a consumer grade product on your counter, what you can tell them is, Mr. Customer, did you know that in the world of additives, there's retail consumer grade products like these and industrial strength commercial grade products that we also have? Would you be interested in running the pro grade stuff or the consumer grade stuff? And that'll spur on a conversation. And then when they ask, well, how much does XP3 cost? Always refer back to the cost to treat per liter. So on diesel, XP3 costs 3 cents per liter to treat or less, depending on the format. If it's bulk, it's a lot less, but your input cost is 3 cents per liter to treat, meaning if you put 100 liters of diesel in your pickup truck, and to treat that 100 liter tank would be $3 of XP3. So if there's any questions, I'm always available. You can reach out to us here at their toll-free number, 1-800-507-2459. And also videos at xp3.ca is a great place to send your customers for them to see all of this new information. So I thank you again for being our dealer across Canada, and look forward to working with you and any of your new staff that might need some training. This is the perfect video to have them view that. Signing off, we will see you next week.